Check Podcasts.
Hi, I'm Bruce Williams. I'm the CEO of the Greater Victoria Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to Chamber Chats, coming to you as always from the podcasting studios here at the Czech Media Group, one of our chamber champions. I live and work in the ancestral lands of the Lekwungen-speaking nations, known to us as Songhees and Esquimalt, or Kosapsum, and we acknowledge their stewardship of this land for millennia. About 18 months ago, we had some sweeping changes happen on the municipal political landscape as some changes happened with the municipal elections. One of the changes happened in the City of Colwood, who elected themselves a new mayor. And he's joining us right now to talk about what's going on in the great City of Colwood, Mayor Doug Kobayashi. Doug, how are you?
I'm very well. Thank you very much, Bruce. And thanks for having me.
You bet. So tell me about the first 18 months of this council. What's that been like?
Learning. But our council has been very effective, actually. You know, the first 3 to 4 months, of course, they were in training, learning their jobs. But we had one advantage. It's been sort of the way that we do business here in Colwood. When we do a 4-year strat plan, we do it in the second year of our tenure. And so it carries over for 1 year with the new council. So we had to, took on the priorities of the previous council. So that way, you know, people can learn the jobs, get some experience before you formulate a new strategy. So a different way of doing it. And it's been a diverse group this time. You know, you don't have 3 engineers sitting on council here. I'm, in fact, the only engineer on council, but different professional backgrounds, different experiences, different age groups, which is really good. So it's been an effective council. You know, we've moved a lot of legislation. And we've moved a lot of developments. In fact, there's only one development that was turned down in all the applications. So it's been good.
Yeah. So at the top there, I referred to the fact that there were some winds of change blowing in the municipal election last time around. Mm-hmm. Why do you think there was such an appetite for change in Colwood in particular? Why was that?
You know, that's a great question. You know, the short answer is I really don't know. It was a bit of a surprise, the outcome. You know, people thought it was going to be a lot closer than what it was. You know, and I guess I looked at it and I sort of said, you know, it was maybe the way I came up with my platform, because before the election, it was funny, the year before the election, I had announced that I wasn't running for council at all. And after, you know, being begged to go ahead and run as the mayor, after consideration, I did. And I took it upon myself as I looked at how Colwood was set up, because there are distinct neighborhoods in Colwood, and you can't say one particular neighborhood speaks for another. So I looked at it and I sort of thought, well, there's about 8 different neighborhoods within the city. And I took the time out with a bunch of helpers right now. We went out and we surveyed 800 homes. So we took 100 homes in each of these 8 distinct areas. And what I did is, this is before the writ was dropped for the election. I didn't run on this with my preconceived ideas. I went around and listened to what people, what I heard and what their vision of the future was. And I was able to connect the dots and put together a platform. And I put it on my flyer that I ran on. And it basically connected with the voters, you know, their aspirations. And I think it just inspired a lot of confidence. And right now, people are actually holding me to what I had on my platform. And they said, you know what, this is the first time we've ever seen it. Everything that you said you were going to do, you're doing it. You know, some I've completed, some are in progress, but I've done everything that I said I was going to do. So, you know, that's basically what I did. It was not my platform. It was the citizens' platform, I guess. And I guess that was the big difference between what I did and my competitor did. So, and I think the other thing that they all know me for is I had quite the reputation as being completely accessible to the public. Never turned down a meeting with any resident of Colwood. In fact, I encouraged them, and the only problem is I did not participate in social media. I have never been on social media, and I never will be. I just think that it's it gets pretty nasty on there. And I feel that a face-to-face or a phone call or, let's go have a coffee is the best approach. So that's exactly what I did. And even as a counselor, sitting counselor at the time, I operated that way. So that's the only thing that I can think of, what differentiated me and who my competition was.
Yeah. Social media gets pretty swampy at times, so you might not be missing a whole lot. You and I have known each other for a long time, and I,
Yes.
I will say that you appear to be having a pretty good time, Doug, while you're doing this mayor's job.
Yes, I am. I love this job. You know, you don't have it perfect all the time, and you get constructive criticism, and understand that. But I got the sign right in front of my desk here. You remember who I represent, and you've got to listen, and you've got to do what's right for the entire community, not any one special interest group. So I've taken a lot of pride in that, and sometimes they're tough decisions.
Yeah. Earlier on, you mentioned that you're working on the strat plan for the city of Colwood. There are actually 5 strategic priorities for Colwood. We want to talk about those 5 priorities next. On Chamber Chats today, we're speaking with Doug Kobayashi. He's the mayor of the city of Colwood. So, 5 strategic priorities in Colwood, Doug. What are those 5 priorities?
Well, actually, there's six, Bruce.
6. Okay.
Yeah, there's and I call them pillars or pathways. And each of these pillars or pathways has specific strategies, tactics, goals, and most importantly, indicators and measurements.
Mhm.
This is something totally different than how we've done it in the past. So the six pathways or pillars that we have are economy. So we're looking at diversifying our economy out here. We've got an economic development strategy developed now. We have a business attraction and retention strategy plan. We have an idea of that what we would want to do down in Colwood Corners. It's basically a downtown revitalization plan. And of course, we've got our seaside village out here in Royal Bay, our beachlands. The second pillar is in infrastructure. We did a good job, I must admit, in the last term, in establishing an infrastructure replacement program where we actually take a bite of a budget every year up to 1%, and it could be more. And we set it aside for future replacement of infrastructure. And it's catching on now. A lot of cities are now doing this. But so you're not getting surprised. You have those peaks and valleys as far as budgets go. Oh, we didn't see this, we didn't see this. So this is a way for us to try to flatten out our taxes every year. So, we're striving to interconnect the city now with sidewalks and streets and cycling paths right now throughout the city. And we started the program. In fact, we just went out and borrowed some money to do more sidewalks. The target is really around parks and schools right now. As you probably know, Colwood was set up like it's an urban/rural type of community, but we're trying to get that interconnectivity right now. The third pathway we're looking at is engagement. I'm really big on this. I started after an absence of 12 years. They went away from the citizen committees here. They haven't had them. I've brought them back now. We have 7 citizen advisory committees in different areas. People are probably getting sick of it right now. I've done surveys. We do town halls, and we call them ideas fairs. So instead of me standing up there doing a monologue to people in a big auditorium, we engage. We have the entire council come out, and we hold them in Royal Bay Secondary School, and we have all these different posters up in the areas that we want their input into. And so there are town halls, and it was fabulous. The attendance was over 1,000 people at the last one. We do a lot of events right now and on the engagement side right now. And of course, we are taking our archaic website, and we're right in the middle of right now, absolutely coming up with a 21st century website. So we're looking forward to that, and it's going to be more engaging with the public. The fourth area, our third one, two, three. Yeah, we're fourth area that I'm looking at is well-being. And that's building an understanding of the community, recreational and the cultural needs. I'll give you a prime example right now. I don't know if you've had the opportunity, but Colwood has its own arts and culture center now. And we did this working with our Arts and Culture Society. If you ever get an opportunity, there's the Art Bloom Show going on there right now, and it's a fabulous facility. So, we're looking at just more than recreation, sports and recreation. We're looking at the arts and cultural needs of the community. The other parts that we're looking at right now is we're about to undertake, I hope right now, is to take a look at community policing right now. That's in conjunction with Langford and View Royal. We've got the housing supply focus, of course, and we are one of the next targets. It's been announced in the newspaper. I don't know how many more houses they expect us to build, but we're way above our housing needs report for the region right now, way above the targets. So, but we have been targeted. So we'll see what happens. I don't know. The next item, the fifth item that we're looking at is governance, better governance through better communications right now. And the other big part of this right now is developing municipal performance benchmarks, a benchmark system and measurement system. So I'm really strong on that one right now. And really to come back and strengthening our partnerships right now with the school district, our neighboring municipalities, and for example, on a monthly basis, last Friday of every month, all the West Shore mayors we meet, have a lunch. We talk about some common items. In fact, Souk has just lately joined us now. They're part of this right now. I've really been pushing on better partnerships with Royal Roads University, and of course we are undertaking establishing MOUs with our First Nations neighbors. And the other big part of it is, even with the Chamber of Commerce, we've got them totally involved. In fact, we just had a what we call a prosperity roundtable with all the business owners yesterday in Colwood, and there was not a seat to be had in it, in fact. And we co-chair that with the Chamber of Commerce. And lastly, the last pillar that we're looking at is the environment right now. And we're really trying to show leadership in climate mitigation and adaptation. In fact, we just recently approved our own climate change plan, our strategy. And, we have adapted, like Victoria and Saanich and a few other municipalities, the build zero emissions and resilient type of buildings right now, and residential homes. So a lot of things right now, and we're really empowering two organizations out here in the West Shore, CENIC, which is the Citizens Environmental Network in Colwood, and Reimagine West Shore, because it's going to take all of us to take action on the environment.
Yeah,
So that's it in a nutshell.
Well, that's a lot. That's a lot that's going on. When you talk about the chamber, by the way, that's the West Shore Chamber of Commerce, which is a very dynamic,
But
very dynamic organization.
Yeah, but even the Victoria Chamber of Commerce, like your chamber, we want to get better links there. We made some critical decisions on the budget. One of the things that I promised I'd look at is everything we belong to, everything that we belong to. And we went through the entire list, for example, and we've felt that we got tons of value from the Victoria Chamber of Commerce. I'm not pushing yours or anything, but we felt there was so much. There was no question that we wanted to retain our membership, but we want to have closer ties actually to it. And there's some things that we dropped that just did not make sense for our citizens because there was no value.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, we're the Greater Victoria Chamber, which means we cover the entire sort of the region of this, all the collective issues. And the West Shore Chamber does an amazing job of things that are all centered on the West Shore. You mentioned that urban-rural mixture in Colwood, too. Something that people may not realize is that something a little over 50% of the homes and the buildings in Colwood are on septic. They're not on sewer system. Is that on the radar to change that? Because that's expensive, man.
Yes. But see, this is the whole thing right now. It's as you know, the provincial government passed Bill 44, 46, and 47. and there's a lot more residential. They want us to put onto single lots right now, single family lots. See, we have within our own budgets right now, in the way we're forecasting ahead, we know exactly what our sewer capacity is right now. And basically, with all the development that's happening right now, that's it. We're finished. So anything new is going to require a lot more sewer. We cannot even try to even start achieving what the provincial government wants from us, because we will need to sewer up a lot more of Colwood right now. And the only reason that number came down is because of the fact that, we acquired the sewage outflow capacity, because we're part of the CRD subgroup that is on the sewage treatment plant out in Esquimalt. And but it's we already know that we'll be at capacity once we build out. And so everything else is on septic. So if there's future expansion, we're looking at, I was told this is this is an estimate right now of what it's going to cost to sewer up the rest of Colwood. It's about $120 million. So unless we get some provincial help in doing this, they can tell us to build more houses, but without that sewer capacity, we virtually cannot do that.
Yeah, so, need to go get some of your money back from the province to make that happen.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So you also mentioned something that is an absolutely transformative change factor in Colwood, and that's Royal Bay. I want to talk about that next. Our guest on Chamber Chats today is Doug Kobayashi. He's the mayor of the City of Colwood. So, Doug, used to be a quarry right there. A big piece of empty land has suddenly become Royal Bay. That whole community is just booming, and there's so many moving parts. It's going to become its own little village. So tell me about the elements that are creating Royal Bay.
Okay, so I just want to make sure that everyone understands this. There's two parts to Royal Bay. There's Royal Bay
and Royal Beach.
And no, it's not called Royal Beach anymore. Oh. They rebranded themselves last summer, and they're called Beachlands now. They wanted to make sure that they were distinctly different.
Okay.
So that's called Beachlands, and that's basically on the east side of Metchosin Road, down to the beach. And then there's the Royal Bay development, which is on the west side of Metchosin Road. So yeah, in essence, they are going to be two distinctly different developments. Royal Bay will look like your typical urban community, what you see around Victoria right now. It's got the commons, the big shopping center. But we've had a lot of input into how we design this community, and from all the feedback that I've got from people that live there, they just say what we've done there is pretty phenomenal. Whereas the Beachlands will have a slightly different feel to it. It'll have that artsy Granville Island feel to it. That's how it's being designed. Even if you look at the architecture and how they're building that out with a lot of West Coast design there. It's going to be a lot different than what's on the east side of Metchosin Road. Now, Great Gablecraft, who has the west side right now, which is what we call Royal Bay, has been going great guns right now. You see a lot more townhomes are erected now. Every time everyone comes out here, it looks different. Mm-hmm. It's always looking more differently. And that side of the park will also have a very large park in there, what we call Quarry Park. It's the future of what Quarry Park is. We're hoping to have a multi-purpose community center there. And then someone actually proposed a swimming pool. I don't know if that's going to happen, an outdoor swimming pool, but it's something that's being considered. But it's going to have the baseball diamonds, the soccer fields, the basketball courts, and it's a really good plan in what they want to do there. And on that side, on the Royal Bay side, of course, is the future senior care facility, that 200 million plus facility for, I think it's 219 beds for senior care. And of course, the Royal BC archive facility is going to be on that side. Right now we have on the Royal Bay side, I think they're completely full now. It's Quality Foods. They've got a Tim Hortons there now. Starbucks, Pure Pharmacy, a
Cascadia
couple,
Liquor is there. I wrote some
yeah,
down here.
Cascadia Liquor,
Uh,
dental clinic,
yeah.
child care clinic.
Yeah.
Everything is there now. But the only thing that they don't have filled right now is they built that 4,000 square foot facility, purpose-built restaurant facility.
Mm.
But I could tell you right now, most of the restaurants keep on eyeing the beach side right now. That's where they want to be. So it's a challenge right now for restaurants to get in are wanting that facility. But we do have it, and unfortunately, they're going to fill it with something else temporarily.
Yeah, but again, all the brand Acera Insurance is there.
Yeah, Acera's there. Yeah,
One of our
yeah,
chamber champions, actually.
yeah.
And Doug, we're just about out of time, but I want to just focus in on the primary care network that you've got your eyes on too. That is going to be
Sure.
part of the well-being part of your strategic plan, right? Where's
Yes.
that at?
Okay, I can tell you this right now. As you know, we have no family doctors here in Colwood. We've got the two facilities ongoing right now. The first facility that I asked the Minister of Health for was to reopen Colwood Corners, and they've done that. That was provincial money that went into the renovations. They're fully operational now, but they still don't have family doctors. Now, the latest update that I had on it is that they've recruited 9 family doctors. Most of them are foreign, mind you, British, South African,
Coming in as immigrants.
yeah.
Yep.
And so there's some costs associated with that, but they're well on their way of by next year they should be in pretty good shape but that one's open. That's an open list, an open register list that's open to anyone in Victoria, basically. The second one is the one that we're trying to open up right now in Royal Bay. In conjunction with Pure Pharmacy, they have built a facility right now which has about can house up to 8 or 9 family doctors right now. They're fully equipped. It was paid by the Jimmy Pattison Group. Now we're about to just launch into this right now. We have some model concepts, but for now, the one thing that we can do is we can actually try to recruit. So we've produced these videos that are about to be launched within the next 2 to 3 weeks right now. We copied what Comox did up island, but we put it on steroids, and they're phenomenal videos that have been produced. And we've already got a couple of doctors that have already engaged, and we haven't even got the videos out right now. So this is a truly a public-private partnership.
Doug, I know how busy you are. We appreciate the time you've given us here today. There's so much more to talk about, so we'll have to do this again in a couple of weeks and revisit the whole thing. Doug Kobayashi is the mayor of the City of Colwood. Doug, thanks for being with us.
Thanks very much, Bruce.
You bet. I'm Bruce Williams. We'll see you again for another Chamber Chat.